Okay, all right.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing this everyday makeup beat for all my peeps who, just need something really quick to like go to work, run errands, or if you're just not into like doing a full face like that, then I think you would definitely appreciate something like this. I'm loving it. I feel like I'm glowing. I have a life. I'm looking like I got my life together, If this is your first time here, well, thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you like what you see. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in into my video. So without further ado, if you're trying to see how to get this everyday beat, just continue watching. Okay, so we're going to start off with priming the skin. So my skin is already washed, moisturized. So now I'm gonna go in with this TruBlend Covergirl Base Business Skin Primer, and this is their mattifying primer that I was sent like a couple weeks ago. I have actually used this mattifying one. It's pretty good. It's actually the primer I've been using as of late because I like it that much. It works really well on my skin, and it actually keeps my face pretty matte. When it dries down, it just feels kind of like super soft and velvety on the skin, which, not mad at. There's a dog barking all outside. He's been barking for the last 2 days. Bark, 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 bark. I'm going to go in with this ultimate brush and set, this ultimate brush set and go off powder. Wow, that is, okay, the ultimate brush off. The ultimate brush off, and it's a new set of powders from Urban Decay. And so these powders come with the kabuki brush already built in. I'm not gonna lie though, this kabuki brush, oh god, kabuki brush is not that convenient because when you take it off, it's just a whole lot of product on the brush, and it's like, where am I supposed to put it? It's like I could tap it, but then I don't know, I just feel like it's a little inconvenient. And then also, trying to like stick my blender or my beauty sponge in there, because that's what I use to apply powder, is a little bit difficult. In that respect, it's a little inconvenient, but the powder itself, I actually do like it. I've used it a couple times, so I'm gonna use it for today and just, suck it up with the way this contraption is set up. So I'm gonna just take my sponge and put it on top of the, kabuki brush, because there's already a whole lot of product, like, wow, a lot of product on the brush. So I'm going to apply that first to my skin right on top of that primer. And this is just an extra step to make sure that I stay matte. This is something that I learned from Miss Jackie Aina. Wow, I look like a ghost. I promise you we're gonna fix that. This shade is the deep shade. Like, this is the deepest shade. Like, I think there's a dark, and then there's medium, fair, and then a universal shade. We're just gonna put that over there, as you can see on my skin. And I'm not even like deep like that, but the finish of the powder is nice. Like, I really like the finish because it feels super soft on the skin, but the shade deep, I don't know what deep is like. I am taking this NARS the multiple, and it's basically like this stick highlighter blush thing in the shade Orgasm, which is their signature shade. Essentially, you can use it on top of makeup, but I'm going to use it underneath today because, again, we're going for that super very simplified look. So I'm just taking it at the higher points of where like I'm usually highlighted, which is usually my cheekbones, kind of like on my forehead, a little bit on my chin, and like down the bridge of my nose. Swipe here on my temple, because again, this is where I'm usually highlighted. Swipe here on my temple, where I'm usually highlighted. Down my nose, a little bit on my chin, and my cupid's bow. I look crazy, but it doesn't matter because we're putting foundation literally over it. So it's really just to kind of enhance the, the natural highlight that we already have. So I'm just using my finger to kind of blend that out. The foundation I'm using today is the Covergirl TruBlend Matte Made, which is the same in the same family as that primer I just used. It's the whole collection, and I'm using the shade D30. And this is a mattifying foundation, and I've been wearing it, and I actually love it. This is a good foundation, and I think it retails for like $11.99 or $12.99. Obviously, you can get it at any drugstore. Actually, don't quote me on that because I feel like a lot of times these brands usually they carry the darker shades only online, but I feel like a place like Walmart or even Target may carry like the full shade range versus like a CVS or a Walgreens, because they be going up to shade Ivory, and it's like, okay. This is a perfect everyday foundation. So at first I thought it was too light for me, but it's not. It's actually the perfect shade. So I'm gonna take, let's see. We're gonna start with one pump, taking one, let's say 1.5. 1.5. Just using my finger to kind of warm it up. Oh, you gotta do it for me, baby. I freaking love that song. It's by Craig David. It's such a good song. I still am a fan of Craig David, so whatever. But it's a good song. So I'm gonna apply that as I usually would. Just going a little more light-handed. And now I'm going to take this NYX number 3 brush. Freaking love this brush. It's like the perfect round top brush. I love the way it applies my foundation. So let's go right into it. So the key with this is just kind of like stippling in versus like swiping. We want it to essentially blend into the skin versus like laying on top of the skin. Ooh, that little NARS stick is really doing it for me right now. She's like glowing. You guys see that? Like I placed it right there on my nose. What I'm gonna do is take that little excess left on my hand and just kind of apply that on my chin area, because that's where I usually need the most coverage. And you guys see this shade match? Are we shook? So this is a good amount of coverage. That's it. 1.5 was good. That was a good amount of product. I'm gonna take my one extra step, which is just to kind of sort of color correct around my mouth. And I'm taking a more red shade, and my usual that I use is the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation in the shade Benares. And I've been using this mainly as like a sort of color corrector because it's red. She's a red foundation. But you can use any kind of red, maybe even orangey tint foundation if you also need to color correct. But I'm taking just a little bit. I took like half of a pump, and I'm just placing that right there around my mouth area, because that's usually where I get dark and where foundation usually starts to like gray out on me, which is not cute at the end of the day. And that just helps balance out my skin. I love how this is looking because I can see that highlight that I did with the NARS, like it's right there. It looks so good. Now, usually I would go in with like my 2 layers of concealer because, you know, just being extra. But for today, we're not gonna do that because this is an everyday look. What I'm going to first do is go in with the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer. I love this concealer because the doe foot applicator. Hold on, let me do the, YouTube thing. I'm going to literally take this. What shade is this? This is in the shade. This is like my equivalent concealer shade. This is in the shade D30. It's like slightly lighter, very slightly, but it's perfect for this like everyday makeup look. Maybe just a little like right there on my nose and right here, because I want that highlighted area to really pop. And then a little bit right there. Now we are going to not let this set because I used this in the past, and this is not a let set concealer. It does not play well with your setting, so it dries fairly quickly, so you want to work kind of fast. All blended in, that is what the concealer looks like. The only thing I'm going to do is going with my NARS, because NARS just does a really good job of super like concealing under the eye. I'm just going to literally apply that NARS Amande right there, like that's it. I'm gonna let the concealer sit for like a little bit. Let's say like 30 seconds. Let me show you how we kick it down. Hey. Warm it up. Dance break is done. Now we're gonna blend out the Amande. I am happy with the foundation and concealer. Now we're gonna do a little bit baby bronzing. We're not going hard. We're not going hard. We're not doing super deep, getting super bronzed up, because this is every day. So I'm only gonna take this brush and I'm gonna use that for my nose, and I'm taking the Mented Times ABF bronzer in the Season 1 shade Duo. That's it. That's all we're doing. And then I'm taking this NYX brush number 2, which is a nice fluffy blending powder brush, and I'm going to dip into that, going with the fluffier brush versus a dense brush, because a dense brush will apply the product pretty heavily, and we don't want that. We just want super, like, you know, fresh face. So just taking a little bit of that, and I'm literally just dusting that. And this shade is the lighter shade. They have another shade that's like more darker, and I would usually use a darker shade for like my usual makeup looks, but because it's every day, we just want to wash with color. This bronzer shows up, so you know, don't go too crazy. I think I'm gonna take that deep powder again, because actually I'm gonna this medium powder is medium. No, I'm gonna take the deep powder. I am an oily girl, and I can't just go without setting my under eyes, or I will be creasing like the sun. Now we're gonna go in with my e.l.f. flat top brush. Set this face because, again, it's every day, but we don't want to look like we are broken down at the end of the day. Liking the way this face is looking right now. Okay, one last step is to take a blush, and I'm taking the Mented blush in the shade Clay Too Much, and I'm just literally applying a light amount on my cheeks just for a wash of color. That's it for the base. Yay! Now we're gonna move quickly into the eyebrows. I usually do, for those days where I'm not like trying to be beat, is I'll take a spoolie, brush my eyebrows up, and then I will use some type of eyebrow gel. So this one is also from Covergirl. This is damn near turned into a Covergirl tutorial. Whoops. This is their brow gel that they came up with, tinted brow gel, and this is in the shade medium. Now we're gonna go into mascara. I'm gonna go in with this Tarte mascara. I just got the travel or the small sample size from Sephora. It's a pretty decent mascara. I like it. Kind of helps just kind of like separate my lashes, which is what I want for today. And that's it. It feels so cute and like simple, but like cute and put together. Yeah, this is looking very nice, y'all. My last step, take a brown liner, and I'm gonna line my lips ever so slightly. And I'm gonna go in with Abu Dhabi from NYX, and I'm just gonna like lightly dab that on my lip. I'm gonna just add a little bit of gloss because I've been loving gloss lately. And that is essentially the final look. What I'm gonna do is slightly dab off some of this gloss. And that is the final look, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, this is my everyday makeup beat, you know, for those times where you just need something quick and easy, or if you're just not really into doing like a whole full face eyeshadow and all the, you know, pizzazz and flair. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.